Here, in the scrublands of South Texas, we observe one of nature's most remarkable creatures. A cabinet secretary in her natural habitat, blaming a man who has not had a job in 17 months for a fly. And yes, the flesh-eating screwworm is back. Back in America for the first time in 60 years, and your hamburger is about to get more expensive because of it. And what is your government doing? Biden did it. So yeah, this screwworm, if you haven't heard of it, it is genuinely the stuff of nightmares. It's a fly that lays eggs in open wounds, and the larvae eat living flesh. Excuse me. America wiped this out in 1966 with one of the great weird triumphs of government science. We bred billions of sterile male flies and airdropped them over the landscape until the species couldn't find a date. We defeated a biblical plague with the world's largest bachelor sterilization program. That is what competent government looks like. Snip, snip. Anyway, this creature, it's back. First, a calf near the border in South Texas. Then another, more than 100 miles north of the first. Then a dog in New Mexico, 400 miles away. 6 confirmed cases and counting as of the time I recorded this. The CDC, they've opened an emergency response, and officials now admit it's no longer contained. And why does this matter to you? A person who's most likely not a cow. If you are a cow watching, welcome to the channel. But this matters to you because of the cost of beef. Ground beef is already pushing $7 a pound, up around 13% in just a year, while the American cattle herd sits at its smallest size in 75 years. So a screwworm outbreak squeezes that supply even harder. Texas alone is staring at an estimated $1.8 billion in damage if this spreads like the last big infestation we had. And your commander-in-chief spent months promising he'd bring your grocery bill down, and of course now he's saying he doesn't care. But now his signature issue is being held hostage by a maggot. And how did we allow this to happen? Well, it's a funny story. Elon Musk, Doge, took that chainsaw out of the budget last year. And among the things that got shredded was USAID. And in USAID, there was a program that monitored and contained the screwworm in Central America. It was an early warning system that kept this bug south of the border for over half a century. Then we also cut USDA animal disease prevention programs. So now you had ranchers and agriculture officials spending months warning that the parasite was marching north. And the administration also reopened southern ports to cattle imports that Biden had closed because of this exact bug. Then, shockingly, the fly showed up. Shocking. Which brings us to your Agriculture Secretary, Brooke Rollins, who had a legendary performance. It was a masterpiece this last week. Last year, before this bug arrived, she called the screwworm terrifying. Yet on Monday on CNBC, with this bug actually in our country, she tried to blow it off as a little pest. From terrifying to little pest, the exact moment it became politically volatile. And again, about the cause for this outbreak, Rollins has her own opinion, telling the Senate with a straight face that the Biden administration's open border policies allowed the screwworm to move north. Senator Roger Marshall ran the same play.
The Biden administration's open border policies, combined with the Mexican cartel's refusal to crack down on that through South and Central America, allowed the screwworm to move north for the first time in 50 years.
I think it's important to point out that we saw this coming under the previous administration, and they refused to respond. When you let millions of people migrate through Central America this way, we saw the screwworm just come with them, whether it was on their pets or maybe they were bringing livestock. And unfortunately, visiting the border before, I saw so many of these people with open flesh wounds themselves that could have been one way to get it across the border.
But absolutely, and the president has been very clear, this is a nonpartisan issue.
Again, reminder, Biden closed the southern ports to the cows. Trump opened them. But to the GOP, this parasite is a Democrat. It is a woke worm. This has been the company line for a while, by the way, because back in the fall, your Treasury Secretary went on television and suggested that beef prices were high because migrants were bringing diseased cattle across the border with them. So you have families crossing the Rio Grande while also somehow herding contraband cows. It is nothing more than barnyard fan fiction. And by the way, I just want to throw a little math in here. A screwworm fly lives about 21 days. Joe Biden left office 17 months ago or so. That means that this fly that Brooke Rollins blamed is roughly 24 fly generations removed from the Biden administration. She's blaming the great times 20 grand fly. Congresswoman Shontel Brown, she rightfully pointed this out, that the administration that we have now cut the screwworm detection funding and fired a quarter of the staff that tracks the disease. And I'm embarrassed for the secretary that her only answer is to blame the administration that left office a year and a half ago. Meanwhile, some countries are getting this right. Canada, which has exactly 0 cases, they're out ahead of it. They're rolling out precautions, monitoring, they've got protocols, the boring competent stuff. Because they saw a flesh-eating parasite from a continent away, and they prepared. We watched it crawl toward us for 2 years, so we cut the program that was watching it. And then we held the door open and held a hearing about Joe Biden. Hey, Canada, how's the real estate up there? You get room for one more resident? But for Americans right now, when your burger costs $9 at the cookout this summer, remember the chain of events. Tariffs, and then a billionaire's vanity project that cut the fly program. The administration that reopened the cattle ports. The parasite strolled right through the open door, and your Secretary of Agriculture stood in front of the United States Senate and blamed a geriatric retiree in Delaware that hasn't been on the job in a year and a half. Government is always all of the stuff that you never notice until somebody breaks it. And my brothers and sisters in Christ, they are breaking all of it. Do me a favor, subscribe to our channel because we keep a running list of everything they are breaking.